You know, we've all been told the same thing. Stay active, keep moving, don't slow down. But what if that message isn't meant for us anymore? What if happiness, real happiness, comes not from doing more, but from doing less? We don't say that out of laziness. We say it out of wisdom, because we've lived, we've given, we've carried families, jobs, expectations, decades of it. And now it's not about proving anything, it's about choosing differently. One of our friends, 75 years young, shared this. My daughter calls me a procrastinator. I say, no, I'm just no longer in a rush. I worked 46 years. I raised 4 children. Now I breathe. I move when I'm ready. I thank God for each day, and I sleep in peace. There's something in those words that stays with you, because maybe you feel it too. Maybe there's a part of you ready to stop trying so hard, to please, to explain, to rush, to carry things that no longer serve you. And maybe it's time to feel lighter, to live wiser, to protect your peace as much as you once protected everyone else. In this video, we'll share 8 things you can now afford to let go of. Not because you're giving up, but because you're finally coming home to yourself. So stay with us. This isn't advice, it's permission. And we think you've earned it. 1. Stop caring what others think. You've spent most of your life thinking about how others see you, what to say, what not to say, whether someone would approve or judge or talk behind your back. It starts young, but it doesn't always stop when we grow older. And yet, this season of life is giving us something priceless, permission to finally stop caring what others think. Because here's the truth, they'll think what they want. They always have, they always will. Some people will misunderstand you, no matter how kind you are. Some will criticize you, even when you're doing your best. And some just like to point fingers, because it distracts them from their own pain. But none of that has to belong to you anymore. You are not someone's opinion. You are not their memory of who you used to be. You are who you are now, and that is enough. Eleanor, a dear friend of ours, told us something beautiful. She's 72. She said, I used to worry if people thought I was strange for wearing bright colors, for joining a painting class, for dancing a little in the grocery store aisle. Now, I don't even notice their looks anymore, because for the first time, I feel like me. That's freedom. That's peace. And that's what happens when we stop giving our energy to other people's opinions and start giving it back to ourselves. Let them think what they want. We've got a life to live. 2. Stop wasting energy on arguments and drama. It used to matter, being right, making your point, explaining yourself again and again until someone finally understood. But somewhere along the way, we realized something else. Peace is worth more than being right. We remember Frank. He's 68, sharp mind, big heart, but always in the middle of every family debate. He told us, I used to argue with my son about politics, with my sister about the past. I thought I was helping, but all it did was steal my peace. And then one day, he just stopped. When someone said something that triggered him, he smiled instead of snapped. When the old stories came up, he said, maybe we just remember it differently. And you know what changed? Not them, but him. He slept better, laughed more, felt lighter. The drama didn't disappear, but it no longer lived in him. Because arguments, more often than not, aren't about finding truth. They're about defending pride. And pride is heavy. So what if we chose something different? Let them be misunderstood. Let them believe what they want. Let silence do the talking. You're not here to carry tension you didn't ask for. You're here to live light. Peace is a decision, and sometimes the wisest words you'll ever speak are none at all. 3. Stop trying to fix everyone's problems. There was a time when we thought we had to fix everything. A friend's crisis, a child's mistake, a sibling's brokenness. We offered advice, showed up in every emergency, held everyone's hand, even when our own were shaking. Because that's what strong people do, right? But then came the quiet years. The years when our body whispered, let me rest, and our heart said it's not yours to carry anymore. Margaret is 70. She told us this. For most of my life, I was the one everyone called, the one who always had the answer, the one who rushed over without being asked. And then one day, I realized no one was asking me to do it anymore. I was the only one demanding it of myself. So she stopped. Not with anger, but with grace. She still listened, still loved, still cared. But she no longer took on the weight that wasn't hers. And in that space, something gentle returned. Her laughter, her art, her mornings with tea and sunlight and no phone buzzing. Because trying to fix everyone is a job without an end. And at this stage in life, your job has changed. You're not the rescuer anymore. You're the witness, the encourager, the peaceful presence. And here's something we've come to believe. No advice fits all. Even the wisest words can fall flat if they land in the wrong season of someone's life. Advice only takes root in the soil that's ready, like a mango seed. If you plant it, you'll grow a mango tree, but only if that's the seed you planted. You won't get a mango from planting an apple, and you can't give someone peace by forcing them to be ready for it. So this part of the journey isn't about handing out more answers. It's about looking inside, asking gently, why did I always feel responsible? What was I afraid would fall apart if I didn't hold it together? And maybe there's more. Because for many of us, helping others feels noble, but being helped, that feels uncomfortable. We believe helping is right, but needing help makes us feel weak, like a burden, so we keep giving and giving until we forget how to receive. Let helping be a joy, not a job. Let receiving feel like grace, not guilt. And when we do give without the scoreboard. No pressure, no strings, just love. And one more thing, something that softens everything. People are not problems. We may see them stuck, lost, angry, but deep down, they're just becoming. So hold the best image of them, quietly, kindly, and trust that one day they'll become what you've always seen in them. 4. Stop chasing perfection and let go of regret. We were raised to aim high. Do it right. Be the best version. Avoid mistakes. Fix what's broken. Hide what isn't perfect. For years, we measured ourselves by checklists that never ended. Clean home, good grades, polite children, a steady job, a strong smile, even when we were breaking inside. And when we slipped, we carried guilt like it was our shadow. But here's something we're slowly learning. Perfection was never the goal. Presence was. Perfection is an illusion, a moving target we were never meant to catch. What matters now is not what you missed, but what you see now, what you feel now, what you choose now. Deborah, 76, told us this. For years, I wished I'd spoken up more in my marriage. I replayed all the things I didn't do, the vacations we never took, the words I swallowed. But then I realized regret is just love looking for somewhere to go. That stayed with us, because regret doesn't mean you failed. It means you cared. It means you're human. And maybe instead of erasing the past, we can hold it like a photograph, a little faded, a little flawed, but still beautiful. We don't have to fix what already happened. We don't have to rewrite the whole story. We just have to keep turning the page. And here's something simple, but powerful. There is no such thing as a perfect life. But there is such a thing as a peaceful one. One where we say, yes, I made mistakes. Yes, I took wrong turns, but I kept going, and I still get to be here. Cracks don't ruin the vessel. They let the light in. So let go of chasing. Let go of proving. Let go of wishing you'd known better sooner. You know now, and that's enough. And maybe the gentlest way to truly let go is to look around and say, thank you. Thank you to the younger version of you who kept showing up. Thank you to the people who stayed, even through your imperfections. Thank you to the quiet moments that healed you when no one else saw. Gratitude doesn't erase the past, it honors it. And when you practice gratitude, you begin to connect again, to yourself, to others, to the present moment. Because the fastest way to return to peace is to recognize what's already here. 5. Stop accumulating unnecessary things. At some point, we all begin to notice how much we've gathered. Drawers full, closets packed, rooms that hold things we haven't touched in years. But they're not just things, are they? They're memories, moments, pieces of who we once were. The coat we wore the day we got the job, the china set from a wedding long past, the photo albums no one else ever opens, but we still know every face inside. So we keep them, not because we need them, but because letting go feels like forgetting. Daniel, 75, shared something that stayed with us. He said, I was holding on to boxes of things for my children to inherit someday. And then I realized what they really needed was my stories, not my storage. So he sat down with his granddaughter, told her the story of the scarf from his late wife, gave it to her, watched her wrap it around herself with tears in her eyes. That moment, he said, was lighter than any space I ever cleared. Because giving doesn't always mean loss. Sometimes it means love. And decluttering? It's not about emptiness. It's about choosing what truly matters now. Even the things you haven't touched in years may still have use, just not for you. Everything has its season. Everything has its usefulness. One person's old might be another's first home. So if there's something you no longer use, a blanket, a teacup, a warm winter coat, consider passing it along, not as junk, but as a quiet gift that still carries purpose. And for the items that are too worn, too broken, too heavy in memory, it's okay to let them go completely. Because some objects, after many years, no longer hold the energy they once did. Their time has passed, and clinging to them can sometimes hold us back from welcoming the new. So let go, lovingly, not as rejection, but as release. Let it open space for something else to arrive. According to the National Institute on Aging, a cluttered environment increases fall risk and overwhelms our senses. But beyond the science, there's something more human. The freedom to move through your home without tripping over your past. The joy of looking around and seeing only what you love, not what you feel obligated to keep. And maybe the most beautiful part? When we release the physical weight, we often release the emotional one too. We make space for air, for light, for quiet, and for connection. Because when we pass down a memory with intention, we give our loved ones more than an object. We give them meaning. We give them us. So let's keep what matters, pass on what carries love, and let go of the rest. Not because it wasn't valuable, but because now we're choosing to live lighter. And lighter doesn't mean less, it means free. And maybe this kind of letting go isn't really letting go at all. Maybe it's an invitation to pause, to breathe, to look gently at what remains, and ask yourself, what do I want the rest of my life to feel like? What truly matters at the end? Is it peace, freedom, joy? Then give yourself room to write that future. Not rushed, not cluttered, just quiet enough to hear the answer. 6. Stop trying to please everyone. For a long time, we said yes. Yes to the neighbor who needed a ride. Yes to the friend who called at midnight. Yes to the family who asked for just one more thing. And slowly, somewhere between all those yeses, we disappeared. We became the person who showed up, no matter what. Who stayed quiet to keep the peace. Who said I'm fine when we weren't. Because we believed being kind meant being available. Being good meant being agreeable. But the truth is, pleasing everyone comes with a price. And too often, that price is you. Linda is 69. She told us, I used to bake extra pies for holidays I didn't even want to host. I'd smile through conversations that drained me. I thought saying yes made me loved, but it just made me tired. So one year she did something different. She said no, with kindness but with clarity. She skipped a family gathering and spent the day walking in nature, painting by the window, listening to her favorite music without interruption. And when her daughter asked why, she said, because this year I needed to come home to myself. That's not selfish, that's sacred. Because pleasing everyone doesn't lead to love. It leads to burnout. And the people who truly care about you, they don't want you exhausted. They want you well. So here's a gentle truth. You don't have to earn your place through sacrifice. You don't have to shrink to make others feel comfortable. You don't have to twist yourself into a version of acceptable. You're allowed to disappoint people in order to honor yourself. Because boundaries aren't walls. They're doors that help love come in without taking everything from you. And if you've spent years measuring your worth by how much you do for others, maybe now is the time to learn how to do something radical. To say no without guilt. To rest without apology. To choose your own joy without explanation. And maybe the people around you won't understand at first. That's okay, because this season of life isn't about proving anything. It's about becoming more you than you've ever been. And those who love you, truly love you, will meet you there. Not for what you give, but for who you are when you finally give to yourself. 7. Stop rushing through life. For most of our lives, mornings were the start of a race. Alarm clock, quick shower, grab the keys, get out the door. No time to breathe, no space to pause, no moment just to be. We moved fast because that's what life demanded. And somewhere along the way, we believed that moving fast was the same as moving forward. But now, things are different. Now you wake up with no meeting to rush to, no lunch to pack, no train to catch. Just morning light, the sound of birds, the warmth of a cup in your hands. And yet, even now, many of us still carry the old pace in our bones. We feel guilty for resting. unsettled when we slow down, as if peace has to be earned through exhaustion. But it doesn't. Joe is 73. He told us, "For years after I retired, I still filled every hour, volunteering, fixing things, trying to stay productive. Then one day I sat outside with nothing on my list, and I watched the wind move the trees. I don't know why, but I cried, because it was the first time in decades that I let life come to me instead of chasing it." We felt that, because when we slow down, something unexpected happens. We begin to see again, not just the world, but ourselves. We notice the details, the color of the sky at 7 a.m., the way the cat curls at your feet, the quiet joy of doing one thing at a time. Life doesn't ask us to hurry. We do that to ourselves. So here's the invitation. Let this chapter be slower, on purpose. Take walks without counting steps. Make tea without multitasking. Call someone just to hear their voice, not to check off a task. Let your days stretch wide, not just long. Because a full life is not made of speed. It's made of presence, and presence is where joy lives. So let go of rushing. You're not late. You're right on time for the kind of life that matters now. 8. Stop worrying about the future. There's a kind of worry that only shows up in the quiet. When the house is still, when the lights are off, when your head meets the pillow but sleep won't come. It asks questions you can't answer. Will my health hold? Will the money last? What happens if I become a burden? The future can feel like a shadow at the edge of every good moment. And the older we get, the more we're told to prepare, plan, think ahead. But sometimes, thinking ahead takes us out of now, and now is the only place joy ever lives. Helen, 78, shared this. Every time I sat down to enjoy my day, a little voice would whisper, "What if this is your last good one?" And I realized I was mourning the future before it even happened. That's the weight of worry. It takes moments that are still good and drains the life from them with what ifs. But here's something to remember. Worry is not preparation. It's just imagination on a loop. It feels like control, but it gives you none. It robs you twice, once of peace and once of presence. And yet we worry because we care, because we've known loss, because we've seen life shift overnight. But here's what's also true. You've made it through more than you ever thought you could. You've adapted, you've healed, you've stood back up, and you will again if the time comes. So what if we trusted that? What if we believed not in perfect outcomes, but in our own quiet resilience? The truth is, there will always be unknowns. But not everything unknown has to be feared. Some things will surprise us in beautiful ways. Some things will work out without us managing every detail. And some days, like today, will offer simple, quiet joys we never saw coming. The warmth of your blanket, a neighbor's wave, the smell of something baking, a laugh you didn't expect. These are not small things, they're life itself. So take a breath, feel your feet on the floor, look around and say, "This is what I can hold, this is what's real right now," and let the rest, the fog of the future, drift on by. You don't have to figure it all out. You just have to be here for the part that's already yours. This moment, this breath, this life. You've done more than enough. You've cared, built, given, sacrificed. For years, maybe decades, you carried others, held back your needs, stayed busy because life asked you to be strong. But now something different is calling. Not louder, softer, not urgent, sacred. A quiet voice inside whispering, let it be lighter, let it be slower, kinder, freer. Because what if happiness at this stage has nothing to do with how much you do, and everything to do with what you no longer carry? What if peace isn't something you earn, but something you allow? The truth is, you're not lazy, you're wise. You're not stepping back. You're stepping inward, into a life with fewer burdens, fewer expectations, and far more meaning. So now we invite you to choose. Not everything, just one thing. One thing you'll stop doing to protect your peace, to reclaim your time, to honor this moment. Which one speaks to you most? Type the number in the comments, 1 through 8, and let's share this journey together. Because the most powerful choice isn't to keep going, it's to pause, to look gently at your life, and say, this is the life I choose now.